anyways, did that bring up any questions I missed, do you think, on
No, I thought that was
reinsurance?
I think that's good. I think like you mentioned, I think the question is like, man, how is insurance going to deal with this? And I know for me, and I've been doing this for a while, but with the natural disasters, it's only been recent that I've heard about reinsurance. Like, wait a minute. So like how do these national companies deal with such devastating, impactful losses? And so it's interesting to realize like, wait a minute, there's layers of protection on everybody and everything. And so,
right.
And then the cause of effect on that, like we talked about, that there's then requirements put on the insurance companies to say, hey, we noticed this inside of your risk that we don't like. And so to offer you reinsurance, you have to adjust and change. And so there's a lot of moving pieces that people don't realize. And then each state is regulated by an insurance commissioner and all that hot mess that happens inside of that. And so,
right. In each state, the regulation is a little bit different as far as what they'll allow and what they won't allow, which that has been part of the problem. From my perspective, I think that's been part of the problem in California. Why companies have been reducing footprints and pulling out is because of the way the insurance commissioner office in California limits how insurance companies can rate. Mm-hmm. And the risks that they can limit. It becomes to the point where the insurance companies go, we can't operate in this condition.
Right.
And so we have to make changes. Regulatory environment has a huge impact. Reinsurance has a huge impact. State management has a huge impact on wildfire and natural catastrophe risks. All of those things make a big difference. And it's not one thing.
Right.
And I think that's, people want like a one simple answer to how do we fix something that's broken? and I don't think there is.
Right.
It's a complex problem with a lot of issues. Right. And you can see, and I'm sure that we will see this come out over the next year, of all of the failures of different departments or different management. And they go, well, this was a problem. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of blame to share. But my hunch is that there's not going to ever be one where you go, if this one thing had been fixed,
right,
this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So yeah, there's so much at play. I do think though that we will learn lessons from it.
Yeah.
And I think that there will be things that come from this that will be good for the future of the insurance industry, that will be good for the future of individuals.
Right.
Because if we can have a strong, robust insurance companies that are providing safety and security for people, I say this all the time, insurance is what allows us to have a first world nation. Because otherwise one major event in your life would bankrupt you, and everything you worked for your entire life, one bad accident, one house fire, something like that can totally destroy you financially.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about it in that way.
Right. If you didn't carry insurance and then using car insurance as an example, right? Like you don't carry car insurance and you're like, well, I'm working for myself, and you got your money saved up and you got your house paid off and you got money saved for retirement, and you've been safe and careful every day of your life, and you do that for 50, 60 years. And one day on your way to work, you slide on black ice and T-boned a neurosurgeon on his way to work and paralyzed him. And now you lose everything that you've ever worked for.
Yeah. Yeah. It would reset you.
Yeah. Now you're 60 years old and you're back to the same spot you were when you were 20.
Yeah.
Or you paid your house off.
If your parents are alive still, you're moving with them.
Right. Like, hey, you still got my old bedroom?
Yeah. So that is interesting.
So insurance is important. It's super important for preserving our way of life, for us to be able to build and grow and not hit reset every time something bad happens.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of positive that will come out of this in that aspect, where insurance companies learn more modeling systems and better rating systems, better mitigation, building code changes. I think management of the natural resources are going to be looked at very closely to say, how do we manage that so we don't burn down a whole city again?
Right.
So
Yeah, that's good. It's a good way to look at it.